Hi there and welcome to this video where I'll be sharing a bit about how I plan to spend my summer ahead of starting my PhD in education at the University of Cambridge. So my name is Éireann, this is The Student Journey, a channel dedicated to supporting you on your application and student journey, as well as sharing some of my own. Obviously this video is about the latter. So for context, I'll be starting my PhD in October. It is currently September. That doesn't really sound like summer in the traditional sense, but that being said, I have stopped working full-time and have about a month to do some of the things that I will be listing. Just a disclaimer, this video is by no means a set of endorsed recommendations. It's more just a reflection for me and a bit of an insight into my own personal experience. I definitely wouldn't want to give advice until I have experienced things for myself, but that being said, I definitely would be interested in reflecting and reviewing on these goals and seeing if I've actually achieved any of them before I begin for my PhD. So let's begin with the top 4 things I'll be prioritizing this month before starting my PhD. Number 1 is taking a break, which sounds simple but is super important. I am a chronic overworker and it's definitely something I'm ashamed of. And I'm really grateful that my friend encouraged me to finish my job much sooner than I probably would have without that advice. I'm not the best at taking breaks, but I do understand that doing a PhD will be probably quite difficult, so I just want to feel like I have rested and really made the most of that period before starting. For me, rest includes going on holiday, which I'm really excited about, but also just reading, relaxing, going outside, spending time exploring where I live, because I moved quite recently, and just feeling like I have time to really engage with my hobbies. I'm sure at some point in documenting my experience, things will be really difficult, and I just want to be grateful knowing that I've used this time wisely ahead of starting a very busy PhD. Number 2 is establish a good routine. Of course, when I start my PhD, I will have a new timetable, I will be living somewhere new, everything will probably be quite new and quite overwhelming, but I want to arrive knowing that I have at least laid the foundations for a good, healthy routine. For me, that includes eating well, being active, organizing my systems and learning how to use them, so taking a lot of time to learn how to use Notion properly, or trialing methods such as time blocking. I know that starting will be hard, I know it will be new, but I want to go there feeling reassured that I at least have a good foundation. This is something I do for other big goals, including things like New Year's resolutions. Of course, for most people this starts on January 1st, but I feel really, reassured knowing that if I have thought about these goals in advance, say from November, I've used that period from November to January, adjusting and preparing for that big change or that bigger commitment, just so that new goal doesn't feel like a big drastic change. So yes, I'll have a new course, a new place of study and kind of home, I guess, but I want to go in knowing at least I have a good sleep routine, or at least I have just those foundational skills so the adjustment doesn't feel as hard. And the third thing I want to do is very similar. So I want to upskill. Similar to gaining that foundational level for my own kind of health and well-being, I'd like to do the same for academic work. I know that when I start, there will be new theories or skills that I'm not necessarily prepared to use or engage with. And whilst I don't think it's the case that I need to read loads ahead or do a whole course in advance, I just want to make sure that when I arrive, I have a kind of foundational knowledge of some of these skills and I don't look very silly. For me, I think there is a big fear around my ability to engage with statistics and do statistical analysis, because that is a big part of my project, but not necessarily something I have much experience with. I obviously know and trust that I will be supported in this process and that there are tutors and courses kind of there in my PhD to prepare me to do this work, but I just want to arrive feeling like I'm in a better position than I would be if I started today. Number 4 is think about what it is I want from the course and think about my long-term plan. I don't necessarily know what life looks like for me after this PhD. I am currently equally interested in starting a completely new career, having a different career in the same field, that being higher education, or going into academia, so doing things like lecturing or research. Until I, better kind of flesh out what those look like, I don't necessarily know what skills or tasks I should be prioritizing during my time as a PhD student. So I just want to use this period to have a bit of a think about what it is I want to gain, where I see myself after this, so I can be a bit more strategic in planning out my time at university. I just essentially want to make sure I've thought through some potential paths so that I'm really being strategic and thoughtful in my own skills development. So those are my top 4 priorities from now until I start my course in October. I will definitely keep you kind of updated in what I achieve and what systems I use to achieve these goals. Just a quick follow-up from point 4 about my long-term wants. I have recorded a video on my PhD bucket list, establishing some of the key things I hope to achieve in the meantime while I do work out that plan. If you're interested in watching that, do click the link below or the link here if it has appeared and I've learned to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.